Hey folks, so this is my kiwi corner of my garden, and as I've been pruning it, this is about halfway done. As I've been pruning it, I've been discovering some pretty disturbing stuff. Very angering if you're a gardener, and so disturbing footage in terms of gardening about to be shown to you. Now, I knew that some of my vines had been cut, and I'll show you. I knew about this one. This is my male vine. Sorry, the vines are getting in the way. They're quite unruly. This is the male vine, and the kiwi vines scab over like that when they've been cut. And you can see that this was cut purposely. This is not an accidental cut. Now, I knew that there had been some pruning on the other side. And in Massachusetts, if someone's gardening stuff encroaches on your property, you're allowed legally to prune it back. Now, normally that happens when you talk to your neighbor and have some conversation about it, but there was no conversation that occurred. And the cut, as it was when it occurred not this past August, but the August before, would have killed this vine. I was really fortunate that this at the time was underground, and I had a volunteer come up, so that was really fortunate, and it saved that vine. Now you'll see that the company that put in the new fence, which wasn't there the previous August, not this last August, but the August before, did dig around that vine, the root system, and that's not great. But what's really disturbing is that I've been discovering a lot more, we'll call it generously, pruning has occurred. So I have two more female vines down here. Ignore the trash that blows up from the street. I'm just getting at it now. So there's another pretty deliberate series of cuts in there. Sorry for the camera work. And you can see it was cut away. They would have had to have reached over the fence to do it. So this was not encroaching on their property. Big old growth chunk cut back. And let me show you something else. So this is my main producer, this female vine here. And sorry for the wobbly camera stuff again. And you can see again, a lot of generously called pruning occurred in there. Now I haven't touched these vines for about 3 years, so they are quite unruly and they're overgrown. I did a little pruning earlier this year when the fence was going in, but all of this stuff happened about a year and a half ago, so August of 2018. And you can see there's a big chunk that was cut back. You can see behind that another chunk of old growth cut off, and all of these cuts were done by reaching over the fence. So none of this was done on their side of the fence. So it didn't fall into the Massachusetts legal obligations, and is absolutely not okay. You can also see where the fencing company spilled concrete onto my side of the property and around my vine. There's also, they threw large stones underneath the fence as they were digging and left them there. So the more I prune this back, the more angry I get about the damage to my plants. And I didn't get any kiwi this year due to the damage to the male vine. I didn't have any second year growth to support flowering on the male vine, so I got no pollination. So very unfortunate. I got no kiwi this year, and now I'm discovering a lot of damage to my vines, which kind of ticks me off a lot. So anyway, that's my kiwi corner. I'm going to build some arboring in here next year, and it already looks a lot more manageable. Hopefully this will stimulate some fresh growth in here. I've got lots of second year growth. All the red vine on the top is second year growth on those females, and the tan colored vine over here on the male, this stuff, that's second year growth on the male. So hopefully I'll get lots of blossoms on the male and plenty on the female to give me a few pounds of kiwi fruit this fall. It's just unfortunate I didn't get any this year. So cheers to that. Thanks everyone.